This video is for Pythagorean theorem. And so remember with Pythagorean, we have two legs and then we have a hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse is going to be the longest side of the triangle. And so if we're missing C, if we're missing the hypotenuse, then we're going to square the length of both of the legs and add them together. And then we're going to square root that amount. And that'll give us the length of the hypotenuse. If we're missing one of the legs, then we're going to square the length of the hypotenuse and then subtract the length of the other leg squared and then square root all of that. And that will give us the missing leg length. And then the other thing we have are Pythagorean triples. These are these nice, pretty measurements that we can get with a right triangle where we don't have any decimals or we don't have to round. And so the first part in this is it a right triangle? And so you can do that by using Pythagorean theorem. And what you do is you take your two smaller sides. So first I'm going to check the square root of 89 and make sure that that is my longest side. And then I just plug the two legs into my formula and see if I get the same amount. And I sure enough do. So this one is a right triangle. And so then we do the same thing here. So 21 squared plus 28 squared, and I get 35, so that one is a right triangle as well. And then I have 8, 12, and 15, so just the same process, but this time you see that I don't get 15, and so it would have to be 15 exactly for that one to be a right triangle, so that one is not a right triangle. And then I've got 10 squared plus 12 squared, and then I need to do the square root of 244 to see if I get the same amount, and I do. And the other thing you can do is instead of square rooting this amount, you can see here before I square root it, I do get 244. So this one is a right triangle. And so they also give us these type of problems in word problems. And so if they're talking about the vertical leg, they're usually going to use directions like north and south. If they're talking about the horizontal leg, west and east. And the hypotenuse is always going to be like a ladder or something leaning up against a wall, or they'll use the word diagonal. And then we can also do it on the coordinate plane with distance. And so what we do here is we draw two legs that are vertical and horizontal that connect the dots, and then we draw our hypotenuse in, and then we can count the length of the legs. So here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I can use Pythagorean theorem again. Oh. And you can see that I get 10. So the length of my hypotenuse here is 10. So down here, these again are checked to see if they make right triangles. And so you can see this one does not. What you have to make sure is that you're always using the shortest sides. So you're using the right formula. And so I'll do one more of these. And so that one is not a right triangle either. All right, so down here at the bottom, it's determined whether each of these triangles are right triangles. And so we do the same thing again, 6 squared plus 7 squared. So this one is not a right triangle. Here, 6 squared plus 8 squared. This one is a right triangle. And then this one would not be a right triangle. All right, so now a word problem. So it says Lisa's parents purchased a flat screen television. The screen measures 45 inches on the diagonal. The base of the screen is 36 inches long. What is the height of the television? So with these word problems, it's good to draw a picture. So it tells me that the diagonal, so that's across here, is 45 inches. And then it says the base of the screen is 36. So you can see when I drew that diagonal in that I made a right triangle. So I can use Pythagorean theorem since I have the hypotenuse and a leg. to find my missing measurement. So my missing measurement would be 27 inches. And then here I've got another word problem. It says a helicopter rises vertically 3 kilometers and then flies due west 4 kilometers. How many kilometers is the helicopter from its starting point? So again, here I can draw in a right triangle. And so if it went vertically 3, and then it went west 4, I can find that this distance is 5. And then finally, one more on the coordinate plane. So I want to draw my right triangle in and then count my distance. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that one is 12. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So that one is 4. And I get, we'll round to the hundredths. So I get 12.65 would be the length of my hypotenuse there, the distance between A and B. So that's it for this video.